Hey guys, this is The Reading King, and I'm here to review The Island, a Minecraft book made by Mojang. And it's about this guy who wakes up on an island and has lost his memory, and he's in the Minecraft universe, and he really learns a lot about life through his experiences. So I'm going to tell you a couple of his experiences, and here's one I found right before the video started. Spying Flint a few paces away, that is his pet sheep, I was relieved to see that his, or her, beautiful black coat had grown back. No problem if this doesn't work, I said, shearing off two more soft dark blocks and carrying them all to the forest side crafting table, because I just woke up with a backup plan. Less than a minute later, wool-on-wool combinations later, less than a minute and several wool-on-wool combinations later, I saw that the fishing net idea was out. And that backup plan is, I told the sheep, drum roll please, a fishing pole. Wow, real obvious. Bah, said Flint, who went back to eating grass. I know, I said. Duh, the most obvious tool. What a difference a few Z's make. Crafting a quartet of sticks, I placed them in the wool on the crafting table. While mixing and matching came up with nothing, I recharged my brain. My recharged brain was already on to a backup plan. So wool doesn't work, I said, reaching for the length of spider silk in my pack. When that didn't work either, I moved on to the next logical step, and that's when my enthusiasm cooled. Maybe this world just won't let me make a fishing pole, I warily told the sheep, and I'm kind of hoping that's true. An icy ball began growing in my stomach. Because if it's not, then the only other option is getting another length of spider silk. I bet he has one piece of spider silk, and getting only another one won't work. Moo! The sound made me jump. Don't sneak up on me like that, I told Moo angrily. Moo, she retorted, telling me not to change the subject. It won't be that dangerous, I said, holding up my bow. We know they're docile in the daylight, so if I can pick off one at a safe distance. She snorted. I gotta try, I protested, holding up a handful of zombie flesh. I can't keep living on this stuff. And the fact that he's been living off zombie flesh, it's just, I don't know, in the real game, it's not that likely because he'd start starving to death, and when he tried to eat zombie flesh, that'd either just make him poisoned, or if it didn't, it'd just make him really, really hungry. And if you eat zombie flesh in the real game, you get a hunger effect. And so there's no point in eating it. And so if he's been starving, he's been feeding off zombie flesh, and then still having energy to fight zombies while he's slowly losing hunger bars, I don't know how he would last that long. I looked down at the bow again and then up to my friends, but I can't be a prisoner of it either. I need to know that if I have to fight, I can, that I can control my fear instead of it always controlling me. I motion to Disappointment Hill. If I don't, I'll be cowering in a hole forever, and that might be surviving, but it's not living. Moo let out a low, resigned moo. As you can tell, it's cow. She knew I was making sense, even if that sense put me right in harm's way. Yeah, you're right, I answered, looking at the late morning sun. I wish I had come to this conclusion last night. Then I could have found a spider first thing this morning instead of having to wait for one tomorrow. Nothing is worse than waiting, counting seconds, drenched in anxiety. Do you know the difference between anxiety and fear? I didn't until that day. I do. Anxiety, you don't have to be scared about something to have anxiety. Like, I'm not scared about school, but if we have a big test, I'm not scared about it. I just have anxiety because it makes me nervous. I'm still not scared about it. So there is a difference. Let's see, where were we? Fear is a real, present, right in your face threat. Anxiety comes from a potential, or in this case, future threat. Fear can be conquered. Anxiety has to be endured, and that's what I did. Walking around the island, talking to Moo or the other animals, going over in my mind how I'd kill a spider, all while enduring wave after wave of mouth-drying, jaw-clenching anxiety. At the crests of those moments, like waves on the stormy sea, were thoughts I was still a little reluctant to talk about. They were thoughts of backing out. The garden will be ripe soon. Zombie flesh isn't so bad. There's no proof whatsoever that this world will let you make a fishing pole. Okay, so it goes on for a couple of seconds before it really gets to the whole lesson part. And let us see. Okay. One second. Okay, here. So he is fighting a giant spider, and be brave, called Moo, forcing me to stand my ground. Think of all the fear you've conquered, all the anxiety you've endured to get to this point. Don't throw it away all now. You're right, I hollered, amazed at how much wisdom she could cram into one simple moo. Courage is a full-time job. And that is the lesson. The water splashed, the bobber sank, and I felt a strong tug on my line. I yanked back hard, expecting to see some subsea behemoth exploding up at me. Instead, a little bluish-gray creature, about the size of my hand, flew out of the water and into my belt. Yep, just perfect flip right into the air and into your belt. Minecraft is weird. So, a fish, I exclaimed. There's a fish in the sea. I didn't worry about why I couldn't see them or how this one had been attracted to my hook. Immediately, I chomped into the soft, smooth skin and was immediately relieved that my mouth and hand cooperated. Moo, moo, called Moo, halting my chewing and reminding me the dangers of raw food. Right, I told her, sushi's great, but we don't know if this is sushi grade fish. Yeah, smart. And limping back to my bunker, I was relieved to see that the furnace also complied, filling my room with an enticing, familiar smell. The flames turned the bluish fish to gray, and the flesh from slippery slime to to wakey to flaky white perfection. Delicious fish, I mumbled, savoring each mouthful as my hyper healing roared back to life. Yes, hyper healing. It's Minecraft. It exists. Okay, so pretty much the whole chapter is over. The next one is about risk and reward, and that's because he's going into the mine, in the mine shaft where there are spawners, to find diamonds to get better gear to protect himself. And it's basically about the whole risk versus reward. So those are some of the things he learned, and other ones are also great ones. There's don't assume anything. That is a good one. Nothing clears the mind like sleep. Yeah, I really like that one because sleep makes you drowsy, and it's real science, everybody. Sometimes you have to compromise an ideal in order to save it. That one, I think, is one of my favorite ones. But it's hard to match against something like take care of your environment so it can take care of you. And funny story, actually. He learned that by melting down with lava half of his island. Yeah. Melted down his whole island. And was like, oh no, I have no apple trees. Tears. Life, everybody. And his final one, growth doesn't come from a comfort zone, but from leaving it. And that is the actual whole really story, what it was leading up to, that one sentence. And so I thought this was a really great book, and there are several reasons why people should read it. And if you want to check out this book, go to a library, go to a bookshop. A goodbye.